In a recent interview, actor and comedian Jim Carrey announced his retirement. And I'm a big fan of Jim Carrey. I grew up watching movies with my parents like Bruce Almighty, The Mask, The Grinch during Christmas time, Dumb and Dumber. I am a huge fan and in some ways am inspired by Jim Carrey. And the retirement itself isn't necessarily the important topic of this video. Of course, as we've seen plenty of times in sports and in Hollywood, is that sometimes retirement isn't actually retirement. See how true that retirement is, but in that same interview, there was something that Jim Carrey said that really resonated with me. First, I'm gonna roll the clip, let the man himself say it, and we'll talk about the context of it.
Well, I'm retiring, but
No.
yeah, probably.
Are you being serious or are you screwing with me?
I'm being fairly serious. Yeah.
Really? Why?
It depends. I really like my quiet life, and I really love putting paint on canvas, and I really love my spiritual life, and I feel like, and this is something you might never hear another celebrity say as long as time exists. I have enough. I've done enough. I am enough.
Now, there's a lot of layers to that I can talk about personally in even my own life. I've struggled with my mental health for my entire life, and one of those things that have always crept in no matter how much better I got, no matter what I was doing, is that thought of, am I good enough? Of course, that has brought me to some very dark places. I mean, even 6 months ago, I returned to the internet and social media after taking a 14-month break because my relationship with social media became so broken and tied to my own self-worth that it was really affecting me to the point that I gave all this up. This is something I know that all creative people especially go through, is that we work on this art and we have these ideas of kind of where we want our art to be, and even though we could recreate it one-to-one exactly how we envisioned it, it's never enough. I know especially recently I have really struggled with imposter syndrome, and all of these different aspects of mental health of course combine to get you into this pool of making yourself feel like you or your work is not enough. Obviously, I do not personally know Jim Carrey. I don't know the actual truth of his full mental health issues and his full struggle and spirituality, just like no one knows mine and no one knows yours. But what little we have seen over the last couple years, I am personally happy to see Jim Carrey in a place that he seems to be happy. Because acting and content creation and any sort of fame and celebrity is such a selfish, self-indulgent thing, or at least I hope that a lot of us are doing it for the art and for reasons of being able to impact other people's lives in a positive way or a creative way. A similar instance of this is Casey Neistat, pioneer of what we see as vlogging and daily vlogging nowadays. You know, once the daily vlog ended, but once he moved out of New York and in LA, we stopped seeing him as much. He stopped uploading. The outsider looking in, it seems like a similar thing. He's finished with that part of his career. I don't think we will ever see, except for possibly like a limited run, a Casey Neistat daily vlog ever again. Some ways, as a fan and as someone who's been highly influenced by Casey and his content, it's sad, but you have the daily vlog and all his other videos to look back on to remember those memories. And it's the same thing with something like Jim Carrey, where we can be sad that he is ready to move on to this next stage of his life, but we still have the classics. We still have his old movies, TV shows, things like that to look back on and think about those good memories. We should not be holding these creative people and these creative projects hostage to just only ever being that. I have always been an advocate of doing multiple things, you know. When I was going to be a professional wrestler, I was not just gonna just be a professional wrestler. I was going to create YouTube content. I was gonna do social media stuff, possibly go into boxing or something like that as well. And I think this is kind of a pattern that you're starting to see a lot with modern content creators is, of course, at the start, you're focused solely on the one thing, YouTube usually, to get you to a good point. And then once you get to that point, you try to expand out. Not because you were just using the YouTube platform or YouTube creators to get success, but because this is not the end all be all. There is other things that people want to do, and only being able to make YouTube videos in your bedroom in your parents' house is not a thing that is sustainable long term. And long term, you know, that is kind of the thought process that I only hope that I will have when the time is right. This is something that Ludwig mentioned, and I'll paraphrase it obviously more with my situation, but he once said, one day you're going to hit start streaming or upload a video for the last time. But that is like the goal, is one day I would like to be able to create what I want to create and hopefully make a decent amount of money to be okay, and then a lot of it I hope to give to charities and people less fortunate than me, so that I can upload or live stream or whatever I'm doing for the last time. Sometimes I feel being a creative person is a curse sometimes. It consumes me so much, and sometimes I wish that I could have a normal life. I want to create things. I want to make art. I want to do things that make me happy. Be able to turn this brain off even for a minute and not worry about any of that stuff would be so amazing. Obviously, in the grand scale of the universe, I am, no matter what I do, I'm going to be insignificant. But for what little time I have here on this earth, and what little impact possibly Earth has on the greater universe, I hope that I can just do my best, create the best work that I can, impact as many people as I can, and fade away into history, hopefully. That would be, sounds kind of ominous, but I mean, that's kind of like a positive thing. Sorry. So with that said, guys, I do want to thank you guys very much for watching. This is a different type of video than I've been doing. With that said, guys, if you enjoyed this video, want kind of more videos like this, let me know down in the comments below, like the video. With that said though, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.